From the amazing Christmas Day matchups to the firing of Mike Brown, these are the top moments from last week in the NBA. Starting off this list with the success of Christmas Day, seeing an 84% increase in viewership since last year, making this the most viewed Christmas Day for the NBA in 5 years. And given the sudden pop-up of competition from the NFL, this was a much-needed day. The tradition of the NBA Christmas Day games is one that goes back all the way to 1947, making December 25th unmistakably a day for basketball fans. However, this almost exclusive schedule was way too tempting for Roger Goodell to pass up, and this year the NFL went all out, partnering with Netflix to show 2 live games on their platform and even bringing in Beyonce to do a halftime show. Kind of moot, because how are you going to be more entertaining than Stephen A comparing LeBron to MJ for the 700th time?
Why are we doing?
Nice try though, Roger. In all seriousness, despite LeBron proclaiming Christmas Day belongs to the NBA, this is an actual threat that the NFL will take over this tradition, especially as NBA viewership starts to dwindle. Yes, this year was a success, but the league still could have done a lot more to help make this day feel more like an event rather than just another regular season game. Little things like just having a Christmas Day jersey. Even a legend like KD said this week that he's paying close attention to why fans don't want to watch the league anymore. Something we did just recently do a video on, check the link in the description if you want to see that one, but at least the league got it right this year, and hopefully they aren't going to become complacent and stop trying to build on that success. And one of those things that could help the NBA with disgruntled fans was actually put on display this week. In Monday's matchup between the Sixers and the Spurs, things got a little chippy, and eventually Andre Drummond was ejected for appearing to push Wemby. Well, ultimately the play was reviewed and showed that Wemby just kinda tripped over his own feet. Most refs, to save face, rarely ever overturn their own ejection, but in this case, we actually had a ref take responsibility for their actions and admit that this is a giant step in the right direction, and hopefully more refs start holding themselves to the same standard. Speaking of ejections, Draymond Green is back at it with another audition tape to submit to the WWE. Shams and his beef with the Heat are still alive and well, as it seems like Shams found his new eternal rival with Woj now retired. It's gone so far that Shams' reporting actually forced Pat Riley to do a rare move and address the rumors directly, saying that the Heat are not trading Jimmy Butler. We'll keep monitoring this story, but if I was a betting man, my money would be with Shams. And now on to the final story that involves the Sacramento Kings unexpectedly firing coach Mike Brown. This impulsive move came on the heels of a 5-game losing streak and about a year removed from Mike Brown becoming the first unanimous coach of the year, while also making the Kings relevant again after a 16-year playoff drought. There are quite a few things wrong with the Kings, but Mike Brown is pretty far down that list of problems. Which is why this decision drew a lot of condemnation from other coaches like Steve Kerr, Rick Carlisle, and Jordy Fernandez, with the most scathing coming from former Kings head coach Mike Malone, who sounded off on the move, calling it a no class, no balls move. Going on further to say that he wasn't surprised by the firing, considering that he was fired, quote, by the same person. It'll be interesting to see if throwing Mike Brown under the bus like that will make it a little tougher to bring in a new coach that just witnessed this whole mess go down. Finishing this off by looking at the standings, in the East, the Celtics and the Cavs continue their dominance, with the Magic struggling to stay afloat without a lot of their core rotation. In the West this week, both the Mavs and the Clippers made a real push up the conference standings.